What's your concept of glamorous? Do you still wear eyeliner? Do you pile on the same makeup that you did in the 1980s and 90s? Or are you totally contemporary? Well, if you want to feel good and feel now, then it's always good to have an eye on trends, but also to adapt them to suit the face that you wear now. So I'm going to share a few secrets of how I do my makeup, how I apply eyeliner, and how I make myself feel glamorous. Now, the first thing are the tools. My most important one is my magnifying mirror. If your eyesight isn't perfect, and mine isn't, then for sure you need to be checking what you do. Secondly, it's having the right tools, and that is a few decent makeup brushes and, might seem funny, but a good pencil sharpener, because pencils, when you use them, should always be sharpened and always have a good point. So let's talk about our skin first. If you're going out for a big night out, then go easy on the moisturizer, or maybe skip it altogether because you want your makeup to last, but always put on a primer. Now, there are loads on the market, but they will really help set your makeup. Next, don't go for a heavy foundation. Lighter foundations don't go into fine lines and are much more youthful. I like to use BB or CC creams, and that's what I put on my face now. There's no great art to it. You can use a brush or you can use your fingers. Don't use your index fingers. Be gentle. It's like a massage. The next thing are brows. Now, as you can see, I'm fair. I've got fair hair and fair skin tones. So even the lighter of brushes can look too dark on my eyebrows. So I very often use an eyeshadow, something like this tone, and an angled brush. Very simply, I start in the center and work out to the high point. Then I lift my brow and go down to the end. Then I flare it out and I brush through to check. Now, the other thing is that I'm very strict about this angle. When I do eyeliner, I work to this angle, and my brows, which, you know, I want them to end there. That again helps lift the eye and counteract any droopiness. Next, let's talk about cheeks. It's very fashionable to have a glow. So I tend to use peachy colours or fairly neutral colours like this, or mixing these two together. In fact, these three would be, for my skin tone, my perfect choice. So, lifting my hair out of the way, I tend, or it's best not to go beyond that line. And again, that gives you lift and go out to the point above your ear. So it's like a triangle here. But I do it in fairly soft little circles. And that doesn't give you a highly contoured look that Kim Kardashian made famous. You can also go along your hairline to the point of the bottom of your brows and go down your nose and underneath, just to hide those jowly bits there. So that's how I prepare my face. The next thing is under eye darkness. Now again, these two lighter colours would be the sort of tones I use, and I'd mix them together and then apply into the corner of my eye, dab underneath. Don't go right under the lashes because you'll find it will make your makeup slip. And then in that outer corner, and I will probably apply the lighter colour there, again at the end. And it's good to look down because that shows you the circles that you have. Then if you want to use a powder to set all that, this sort of mineral colourless powder is really good. It's going over my eyes and my chin, just in that middle section of my face. And then I'm just going to check in that mirror. You will also notice that I don't use my index finger, and I tend to use these 3 fingers. Very often it's your ring finger that is the one that's good to apply. The reason you don't use your index finger is because you press harder. So let's talk about eyeliner. Now, there are various kinds of eyeliner. There are liquids, there are solid, pencils, or you can use eyeshadow powder. So I find that nowadays liquid eyeliners aren't very flattering to me, and that's because our skin as we age goes a bit more crepey. So I either use a pencil or eyeshadow, which I dampen. So I talked about the brushes being important. This pencil, it's called Mocha, and it has a smudge stick on the other end, which is like a hard sponge. Now this is great because if you go wrong, you can smudge it, or any way you can soften the line. So I do, I'm afraid, have to use, and I know I could have put my hair back in a band, so apologies. So I talked about that angle, and what you need to do is, with your eyes open, look closely in, and then you start off by drawing that line. So it goes, if you imagine a line from there, and this is very difficult when I haven't got a mirror in front of me. So I look into my mirror, and then from the corner of my eye, I draw a line upwards. I'm going to check in my mirror to make sure that's not wiggly. And then I'm going to go along the lash line in small little strokes rather than one line. Now my eyes are quite round actually, and if I do a thick line right the way along, it automatically makes them lose their shape. So I tend, once I get to that middle point, to then go from the corner upwards. Now forgive me, I need to check that in my mirror. Okay, now with the little smudge end, I'm going to go along and just soften that line. And then I could, if I wanted to, continue it underneath the corner, which I wouldn't go into the centre. I would again stop mid-eye, not a thick line, just a soft line, and then again blend it with that smudge stick. The other way I could do eyeliner is with this angled brush or a very fine brush. So in this case, I dampened the brush, and I'm using that light brown shadow that I used on my brows. I could use the darker colour, but I want it to look fairly natural. And it's the same principle, going from the corner, drawing the line upwards, and then in this case, because it's wet, I'm going to sweep it a little bit more, but still going to that middle point. And then, wetting my little brush, I'm going to go again from the corner out, and again look in my mirror. Hair on my face. I'm actually going to darken it with the darker colour now. And you can do the line with your eye completely open. Now, why would I do it open? Because if I do it closed, in which case going like that and draw the line, you see I am going to end up with the line going downwards and not upwards. And obviously you want to lift your eyes. And like the pencil, the other good reason for using eyeshadow is that if you think it's too harsh, or if it goes horribly wrong, you can just blend it out with a fluffy brush. I'm just going to add a little colour into my crease line, going out to meet the end of my eyeliner. And I'm going just above the crease line, in fact, because again, that will give me lift. Now, to make this more glamorous, we need a little bit of shine. So I'm going to use this little product, and I'm going to just tap a bit on the end of my brush and then just put it into the centre. Could also go into that corner, and that just adds a bit of brightness. You can see as I blink, and again check that it's all blended correctly in my mirror. So there's a bit of a trend for coloured eyeshadows, and one of the ones that's coming out is navy. Now I believe, as I have blue eyes, that when I'm wearing blue and particularly navy on my lashes, then I need to counteract it with the opposite colour of the colour chart, colour wheel, which is sort of orangey tones, which is why the colour I put on my lid was peachy colour, and in my socket I've used browns, and I've got brown eyeshadow. So that's going to brighten it up. The other thing I would do is to add some peach at the end to my cheeks. Mascara is easy to apply. Just always make sure you go right to your roots, and then on the side, use the point to elongate the ends. Quite a subtle colour, and I think that's good. I don't think you want to be fluttering bright blue lashes. This is about sophisticated glamour. Now I tend to concentrate on the outer corners, particularly when I have eyeliner on, because that elongates my eyes, which I like. Okay, lips. I'm going to add a little bit of the lip balm, which I love and often just wear this, quite honestly. And then I'm using number 3. Had to look twice then because I couldn't read the number. Is this right? I need to check again. Oh gosh. I can make myself look fabulous, but I can't give myself perfect eyesight. And the last thing I want to do, I talked about a little bit more of a peachy colour. Where's my brush? Here it is. So I'm going to use this tone on this compact just on the apples of my cheeks. Blend it with my fingertips. And then, last touch, with the gloss, and using my fingers, just dabbing it on the back of my hands. Yeah, I'm going to put that on my cheeks for a bit of totally contemporary glow. And then on the centre of my lips. And that is my glamorous look.